These are 10 of the best farms for Minecraft Bedrock. Summer has just begun, so I know you guys are getting back into Minecraft. I've compiled this list just for you, so let's build. This is the easiest iron farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you over 420 iron per hour. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is find an area to build the farm in at least 150 blocks away from all other villages and villagers, and once we've found a location, we're going to use either scaffolding or building blocks and ladders, and we're going to pillar up 72 blocks. And after pillaring up 72 blocks, we're going to place building blocks going all the way around our scaffolding here, and then we're going to extend this platform out to be 8 blocks long. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to make a giant square. And when you're done, you should have a 3x8 square like we have here. We're going to grab our chests now, and we're going to come to the opposite side of our scaffolding and place down a double chest. We're then going to grab our building blocks and place down 2 building blocks on both sides of the chest, like so. Next, we're going to grab our hoppers, and we're going to jump up here and place down a hopper running into that chest, so crouch and place it so that the hopper is pointing down. Then we're going to place down another hopper running into that hopper, and then we're going to place down 8 hoppers running into one another. So let's place down 4 hoppers running into this central hopper, and then we're going to place down the rest of our hoppers running into these outside hoppers. Now these don't have to be symmetrical, but I like them to all run in so they look kind of similar. But again, just make sure everything is connected to this central hopper, and then it's going to flow down into this chest. Next, we're going to crouch, and we're going to come to the side of this block here and place down 3 blocks. Do the same thing on this other side, crouch and extend this out 3 blocks. Then we're going to go on both sides, and we're going to extend this out to be 2 blocks wide and 7 blocks long. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7. And then we are going to fill in this entire back area here, and we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to extend this side out to be 2 blocks wide over in the front. So once all said and done, you should have a shape that looks like this. Next, we're going to grab our beds, and we're going to place down beds on each of these blocks like so. So we're going to place down 6 beds here, come to the other side, and place down another 6 beds, just like this. And then we're going to place down 6 more beds in this center square, and then our final 2 beds like this. So that is a total of 20 beds. Next, we're going to come on top of these hoppers, and we're going to crouch and place down 2 blocks on the center on top of these beds, and we're going to build out 3 more blocks for a total of 5 blocks coming out of these central hoppers, and we're going to do this on every side. And once you've done that, connect it all up into a giant 13x13 platform with the 3x3 hoppers in the center. Next, you want to go to the side of the farm with the scaffolding, and you see these 3 blocks that are exposed to the sky. We need to place down 3 building blocks going over top of our platform, that way no iron golems spawn on this lip. If these blocks aren't here, then iron golems can spawn on these 3 blocks, which will mess up the farm. So these 3 blocks are very important. We're then going to grab our leaves, and we're going to place down a giant rim of leaves going all the way around the farm, and we're going to make this rim 2 blocks tall. And after placing down all of our leaves, we're going to grab our signs now, and we're going to crouch and place our signs on top of these hoppers. So we're going to place down 9 signs on top of our 9 hoppers. We're then going to grab our building blocks, and we're going to go to each of these corners, and we're going to build out by 4 blocks. And we're just going to do this in every side of the farm, which is going to allow our water to flow to the center of where is eventually going to be the kill chamber. So once we've placed down all of our blocks in each of these corners, we're going to grab our water source blocks, and you can easily create an infinite water source block by just creating a little area here and throwing down your 2 water buckets. You can then grab your water, place it in the corner, grab your water, place it in the corner, grab your water, place it in the corner, and do it for the last corner as well. Go ahead and remove your infinite source block now, and we're going to clear out all of these blocks. And as you can see, all of the water is flowing over to these hoppers. Now these are currently taking up valuable spawn locations, so we're going to remove all of these building blocks that we used to spread the water, which is going to allow iron golems to spawn in this far corner as well. And after all of that, this is what the farm should currently look like. All of the water sources are flowing down to these central hoppers here. Now this is only the first layer of spawn locations. We're actually going to make a second platform. So we're going to place down 2 temporary blocks right here, and then a block right here, which is going to give the iron golems on this layer 3 blocks of headspace so that they can spawn on both layers. We're then going to remove these 2 temporary blocks, and we're once again going to be building our giant platform which is a 13 by 13 square, and we're going to leave the center 3 by 3 empty so that the iron golems can fall down into this kill chamber. And after building your second layer, this is what the farm should now look like. We're going to grab our leaf blocks now, and we're going to place down a temporary block on this rim, place down a leaf block, break our temporary block, and then we're just going to do the same thing, creating a 2-block tall rim going all the way around this platform, and we're going to do the exact same thing with the water. Before you place in your water though, each of these triangles is only going to be 3 blocks long and 3 blocks wide, and we're also going to come into our center here, and we're going to place down signs on all of these corner blocks. So a sign and then a sign on top, and do the same thing on this side, and that's going to prevent the water from falling into our 3 by 3 hole, which again is eventually going to have lava, so we can't have water flowing there. So this is what it should now look like. We're going to place down our water buckets in each of these corners, and then we're again going to remove those blocks underneath of the water sources so that we get back that spawn location. Because again, if those blocks are there, nothing can spawn here, but with them removed, an iron golem can spawn in this corner. So again, we're just going to remove all of these blocks. And with that, we have built all of the spawn layers. So the next thing we're going to build is the kill chamber. Now bear with me because this is probably the most confusing part of the tutorial just because of how many signs we're about to place, but I'm going to try and keep it simple. First, we're going to place down signs on top of these bottom 9 signs here. After placing down those signs, we're going to place down signs on the sides of those second layer of signs. And then after placing down these side signs, like you see here, we're going to place down signs on top of the signs that we've just placed on the side. So when it's all said and done, we should have a reverse pyramid of signs. So it should get wider from the bottom to the top. And on top, I hate placing signs so much. On top of that, if you look in the center of this, you should have this center 3 by 3 be air blocks, because we're going to place down our lava on this center sign right here by crouching, and try not to fall into it, but if you do, it's probably not the end of the world because there's water all around. But this is what it should look like. So if all of your signs are placed correctly, this is what it should look like, and I'll just stay still here if you need to pause the video. Alright, on the opposite side of the iron farm from the scaffolding, so on this side right here, we're going to come to the center, and on this first layer of leaves, we're going to place down a block. So it's the center of the farm, first layer of leaves, opposite side of the scaffolding. We're then going to extend this out to a total of 5 blocks wide, like you see here, and then we're going to extend this out 7 blocks. So 3 on this side, and 3 on this side, and then go ahead and make a nice little platform here, and then we're going to add 3 more blocks on both ends of this platform. So we're going to place down 3 blocks right here, and 3 blocks on this side as well. Next, we're going to grab our fletching tables, or whatever workstation you would like. We're going to place down our workstations on all of these outside blocks, like you see here, so that the center area of this room should be 21 blocks, or 7 blocks by 3 blocks wide. And then we're going to place down a layer of building blocks on top of those workstations. Alright, correction, we're actually going to remove those building blocks, and this layer over top of the workstations is going to be leaf blocks, and then the ceiling is also going to be leaf blocks, but we're going to wait to put that on because we need to get our villagers inside of this chamber. Now the easiest way to do that is once you've kidnapped your 2 villagers, you have them in a boat with a lead, we're going to look up at our little chamber where the villagers are going to go, and we're just going to offset it a little bit. So your crosshair shouldn't be underneath of it, just kind of like beside it. This is a pretty good place to pillar up, so I'm just going to jump, and we're going to pillar up all the way until we are above that chamber. Then we're going to bridge over so we can just gently drop these guys into our little room with all of the workstations. And I actually thought that I had pillared much farther away, so we're just going to get these to the other side, so just, come on. I'm going to bridge over here, and I'm going to keep pillaring up. So once we're in here, we're just going to go ahead and drop them in. Come on, guys. Welcome to your new home. Go ahead and break the boat. They should be in here now. We can get rid of all of this scaffolding, and in fact, you do need to get rid of this pillar eventually. I'm just going to do this right now, and then we're going to head up and breed our villagers. And doing that is incredibly simple. All you have to do is throw them 2 stacks of carrots, beetroots, potatoes, or bread. They're going to trade back and forth with those, and if they ever do stop breeding, just throw a little bit more food in there, and they should continue going. But in the meantime, place down a temporary block, and then we're just going to fill in this entire ceiling with leaves, and they're going to start breeding. Just build a little chamber to the side, so that way, you know, you are in the area to let them breed. And it should only take like 30 minutes to an hour for there to be 20 villagers, because that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for there to be 20 villagers with no green coats. So if there's any green coats, then you're unfortunately going to have to kill them. But just, oh, you can see, damn, they are quick to it. They are already breeding. So we're just going to wait to have 20 villagers, and then we can remove this little chamber. This is just so that we don't get attacked by phantoms while we wait. Dude, the new little baby villagers, what the hell? That's so adorable. Anyways, they will not be contributing to the workforce, so they have to go, and same with green coats. Obviously, the baby villagers are going to grow up into working individuals, so that's fine, but none of the green coats, and as you can see, as soon as I remove one, wow, this is, I'm going to keep it PG. So yeah. Obviously, baby villagers are going to grow up into working individuals, so they are going to contribute to the iron golem spawning. However, green coats do have to go because they just take up room and they are not going to contribute to spawning iron golems. So once you have 20 adult villagers in here, this thing should start going almost immediately. The only thing we have left to do is we need to tame 5 cats and keep them in the area, and the easiest way to do that is there's going to be cats that spawn in this bottom layer. Just put them on a lead and then lead them up and then tame them and place them somewhere along the farm. But as you can see, we already have an iron golem. But yeah, by having the 5 cats there, we are going to make the rates even stronger. Yay, we got more iron golems. We're going to make the rates even stronger by having 5 cats tamed, because that is going to basically, every time the village wants to spawn something, it's going to spawn either a cat or an iron golem, and by having 5 cats, it will never try to spawn a cat, so it's only going to spawn iron golems. So yeah, tame 5 cats, put them on a lead, bring them up, do whatever, but we need to tame 5 cats. Bro, the baby cats too, oh my god. Oh, yeah, you can see that there's a cat here. The easiest way to get them is to just break a leaf block and then put them on a lead, and then lead them out of the farm, which, you know, you can then tame them. That's going to be a lot of work, I'm going to be honest, but you do need to tame 5 cats. I wish I had some super easy way to tame 5 cats and get them out of the farm, but honestly, it's probably pretty annoying. You got to put them on a lead, build a bridge out, bring them up here, and then tame them on the leaves. There's not really a shortcut. It's just going to suck and take some time, but it's well worth it. I highly recommend taming the cats because it is going to make the farm a lot more efficient. But once you have your cats and they're tamed and they're in the area, all we're going to do is come down and go to our AFK area. And all you got to do is hang out here, and all of the iron is going to end up inside of this chest. So I'm going to go ahead and AFK for an hour. But again, if you want to prevent phantoms from killing you, you should probably just box yourself in a little bit better. Maybe throw a door here. But yeah. So as you can see in that time lapse, we AFK'd for an hour and got just over 6.5 stacks of iron, which is just over 420 iron in a single hour. I've been hanging around the farm, and in that time, you know, we've got 5, 6, 7, like, this makes tons of iron. Never count on camera. This is the easiest gold XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you over 50 levels and 400 gold in under 30 minutes. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing you want to do is find a nice flat area to build a farm in, and we're going to dig out a 21 block strip. Next, we're going to fill in the strip with obsidian. Then we're going to grab our obsidian again, and we're going to build 22 blocks up into the air. And do the same thing on the other side, and then connect it up with another strip of obsidian to make a giant portal, which should be 21 blocks on the inside and 23 blocks on the outside. Next, we want to grab our flint and steel and light and break the portal until we have zombie piglins spawn, and we can see that they spawned on this side of the portal. So we're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to create a strip of blocks going behind the portal on the side that they didn't spawn on. And then we want to place down a layer of slabs on top of those blocks. Now we can build the kill chamber on either side of the portal, so you can build it over here or you could build it over here. I'm going to build mine over here, so we're going to place down 2 blocks right here, and then we're going to dig out a strip of blocks going all the way to the other side of the portal. We're then going to come back over here now, and we're just going to grab our blocks, and we're going to build with our blocks all the way over to the end of this strip we've just dug out. And then again, we're going to place down our slabs on top of those blocks. We're going to grab a water bucket now and place the water bucket at the end of this strip. And this is going to be how we flow the zombie piglins over to the kill chamber. So wherever the water ends up flowing to, we're just going to dig that block out that's underneath of it to continue our water stream. So we're going to dig this block to continue our water stream. And we're just going to go all the way over until we're all the way over here. And on this last block of the water stream, which should be the last block in the portal here, we're going to place down our sign to stop the water from flowing, and then we're going to dig out a 2x2 square, and we're actually going to remove this block right here. I built over one too many on accident. We're going to dig down 2 more blocks from here, just like this, and this is going to be where we have our AFK Trident Killer. And if you want to replace this dirt block with an obsidian, you absolutely can, because I know that that will bother me if it's a dirt block. Next, we're going to dig down 2 more blocks here, just like so. We're going to grab our hoppers now, and we're going to run a hopper into this block, which is the opposite side of the portal. We're then going to run all of our hoppers into that hopper right here. Grab our mud now and place down mud blocks on top of all of those hoppers. And then we're going to dig out these 2 blocks going all the way around. However, we don't really want to disrupt our water stream, so we're just going to dig out the blocks beneath the water stream for now, like this. Once you have that area cleared out, we're going to place down a piston on this block right here, which is again the opposite side of the portal. So take your sign, place down your piston, and that's going to be where we AFK at the farm. We're then going to have our pistons in an... Actually, we're going to wait on that. We're going to place down a redstone torch, and then we're going to have an observer looking at that redstone torch, and then you should see the red dot. Place down a piston here so that the observer is going to power the piston. Place down a redstone torch, and then an observer looking at that torch. Piston, redstone torch, observer, and then a piston, and then a redstone torch. And then we're actually going to clear out these 2 blocks right here, and we're going to finish this off with another observer looking at that redstone torch. Go ahead and place down a lever on this piston, which again is our AFK piston. You can tell because we are looking at the sign. Go ahead and turn on this lever. It's going to start the Trident Killer. And then this is going to be how we move around the tridents to kill all of the zombie piglins. Now, if we go ahead and turn this lever off, you're going to see that the Trident Killer stops and this piston is pushed forward. If that is what's happening on your screen, then you have built it correctly. Next, we're going to grab our building blocks now, and we're going to place down building blocks in all of these air blocks around the Trident Killer. That way, no baby zombies or zombie piglins can step on top of those blocks. So the inside of this chamber needs to be completely flush. We're then going to place down a fence post right here, so that way we can collect the XP, but the zombie piglins with spears will not be able to attack us. From here, we're just going to turn around, and we're going to clear out these 4 blocks right here, so we have a nice little 2x2 AFK room where we can hang out. And then we're going to dig this block right here all the way up to the surface, which is across from our fence post here. Next, we're going to grab building blocks, and now this part's optional if you want to make it look nice, but I recommend just replacing these blocks now, so that way you can place down your ladders going all the way to the surface. We can get rid of that one and replace it with a trap door so nothing can get in here. But this is going to be how we get in and out of the farm. I've gone ahead and replaced all of the visible blocks with cobblestone just so we have a nice cohesive look, but you can decorate this place however you see fit. The next thing we're going to do is place down a slab right here, and this is going to allow us to crouch underneath of here, step in this corner, collect all of the XP, and we don't have to worry about being struck by zombie piglins that are carrying spears. So this slab and this fence post prevents it. If you don't have the slab, you could get struck, and if you don't have this fence, you could get struck as well. So this is our spear protection room. But yeah. Next, we're going to grab our, well, we're going to dig down 4 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to grab our ladders here, and we're just going to place down our ladders going all the way up. Again, we can make this look however we want in a second. And we're just going to clear out a little room here, which is going to be a 2x3, and this is going to be where we have our collection system. And then we're going to remove the roof so that this room is a 3x2 by 3 block tall room. And again, I'm just using cobblestone, but you can use whatever blocks you would like. If you have this room dug out correctly, you should see that hopper that we placed down earlier that's running into this block, and this is going to be where the collection system is. So we're going to replace this floor here now with building blocks on these 4 blocks, and then grab your stairs now, and we're going to place down 3 stairs going across, which is going to be where the bottom chests are. Alright, so from here we have our stairs, and we're going to remove 7 blocks. So we're going to clear this room out. Oh, we've got gravel. We're going to clear this room out so that it is a 5x7 room from this point onwards. So I'm going to dig it out and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so when it's all said and done, this room beyond the stairs should be 7 blocks long, 5 blocks wide, and 4 blocks tall. We're then going to grab our torches, and we're going to place down torches on these 2 blocks just to light up this back room so nothing spawns where our item sorters are. Next, we're going to grab our chests and place down 3 double chests in front of these stairs like you see here, and then we're going to place down another set of chests on top of those chests. Go ahead and remove these 2 blocks so that we can get in and out of the item sorting room for now. Then we're going to remove this block in front of that hopper here. Grab your hoppers now and place down 6 hoppers behind those chests, or running into those chests, sorry. So when you look at the side, all of these little hopper, like nubbin things, should be running into the chests. We're then going to grab our building blocks now and place down 3 building blocks behind those hoppers. Then we're going to place down 2 blocks right here. And then we're going to grab our redstone torches, place down redstone torches on all of these blocks. Next, we're going to grab our redstone repeaters, and we are going to place down 3 redstone repeaters running into those blocks right here. Set these to 2 ticks. Grab our blocks again and place down blocks behind those repeaters, and then 3 blocks going across here. So when it's all said and done, this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to grab our comparators and jump on top of these chests. Place down our comparators next to these hoppers, and then grab our redstone dust, and place redstone dust on top of all of these building blocks. We're then going to come back here and grab our hoppers now, and run the hoppers, crouch, and run the hoppers into each of these comparators. So again, the little nubbin should be looking at the comparator. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our dropper, and we're going to go to this side opposite of this hopper over here. And we're going to place a dropper facing downwards and remove the block beneath that dropper. If we come back up here, this is what it should look like. And now we're going to grab our hoppers, and we're going to connect the hopper chain to the trident killer, just like so. So all of the drops from the farm are going to get tossed through here, go across the hopper chain, get sorted into golden nuggets, golden bars, rotten flesh, and then all of the golden swords and gold spears are going to get dispensed into lava eventually. Now you may be wondering why we're not going to be smelting the gold swords and gold spears into more golden nuggets. After all, this is a gold farm, and the reason for that is there is no such thing as a 100% efficient item sorter, which means you're always going to have some items leak through. So like maybe 1 in 1,000 rotten flesh are not going to get sorted out, which is eventually going to clog a furnace if we were to hook this up to a furnace system. So that's why we're burning the gold tools in lava. Speaking of, we're going to grab our observers, place down 2 observers that are looking into one another, just like so, so that way this dispenser is going to spit out whatever is put into it, and then we're going to place down a lava bucket in that hole we mined beneath that dropper. We're then going to come back up here, and we can just go ahead and plug this up. Now I'm going to decorate this off camera, but again, you can decorate this however you would like. Now, one of the last things we need to do with the item filter is actually make it so that it is sorting items. So we're going to go to these hoppers, which are at eye level and just below the top chest, and we're going to sort out each of the drops. So we're going to grab our barrels or whatever item filter block you want, something that's not going to end up. You could use dirt, coarse dirt, sand, a named item. It's really up to you. But then we're just going to grab our gold nuggets and filter them through like this. Go to the next hopper, place in the next item we want to sort. So we're going to do our item filter blocks and then gold ingots. And finally, we're just going to sort out rotten flesh, item filter blocks. And so each of these are going to tick down to 41 blocks. Now you could use 10 item sorting blocks, like 10 barrels in each of these slots, and then just 1 item here. However, I think it's much more reliable if you do it this way. Oh, and the reason why it ticked down to 40 instead of 41 is just because I overflowed the item filters, but don't worry about that. That is actually not a big deal. Go ahead and grab whatever items went through here. Then we're going to grab our stairs, and we're going to place down stairs upside down like this so that we can still open our chests here. And then I would recommend just going ahead and labeling them. So gold nuggets, gold ingots, and rotten flesh. Now we only have one last thing to do, and that is make the fire starter so that this thing lights and unlights itself. The first thing we're going to do is remove this block right here, and then the next 4 blocks as well, just like so. So we should have a 5-block strip from the wall. We're going to remove this block as well just to make things a little bit easier. And we're going to grab our dispenser and face the dispenser towards the portal like you see here. So this is your trapdoor, this is their trident killer, and the dispenser should be facing towards the portal. We're then going to grab our building blocks now and place down building blocks all the way across here, just like so that there's a 3-block strip in the center here. We're going to grab our observers now, and we're going to place down an observer. We're going to remove this block to make it a little easier. Place down an observer so that the red dot is facing into this block, but more importantly, the face should be looking at these 2 air blocks. We're then going to place down 2 observers facing in this direction so that it is creating a little observer clock back and forth here. We're then going to grab our blocks now, and we're going to place down blocks all the way across the back here. We're going to grab our trapdoors. We're going to place down 3 trapdoors and open them up on the side with the portal. Next, we're going to grab our lava now, and we're going to place down 3 lava buckets inside of those holes here, and you should see that the portal should automatically light. We're going to go ahead and fill this in and place down blocks on top of those trapdoors, but leave these 3 blocks open so that the lava has access to the sky. We're then going to come around here, and we're going to place in our powdered snow bucket, and then grab a lever and immediately just power this thing. Because as you can see, that is how we're powering this. So it's going to immediately spawn piglins. And if you don't stop this from going, then you're just going to get overloaded because we are not ready for piglins yet. We got to link everything up. Next, we want to return to our AFK chamber here, and we're going to grab our redstone dust and place a redstone dust next to this lever, which is going to run into this block. We're going to remove this block from our wall and place down a redstone torch. From here, we're just going to dig these 2 blocks up to the surface to create a torch tower, just like so. Place down our block, and then a redstone dust right here. And then we are going to just, we're going to go around here, just like this. Create this little, 3-block strip, and we're going to connect this up to our lever, just like so. We're then going to grab our building blocks now, and we are going to create a strip of building blocks going around here so that way you don't accidentally fall into the trident killer. And then we're just going to clear in, or fill in this hole, so that way, our AFK chamber is nice and safe. And actually, let's just replace that so it all looks natural. And just like that, we now have everything linked up to our trident killer lever. The only thing left to do, let's replace that block. The only thing left to do is to throw our tridents into this chamber. But first, we got to manually kill all of the piglins that we spawned when building the farm. You could manually kill them with a sword down in the AFK chamber, or you can climb up here and use instant health 2 to kill them all very quickly. And then we're just going to grab our trident, and we're going to look at this piston right here and just go ahead and throw in a trident. Throw in 2 if you want it to be a little bit faster. I would recommend 2, but you could get away with just using 1. And the last thing that we are going to do is we are going to enchant a sword with looting 3 if you don't have one already. And this is awesome because all you got to do is stand there and hold it, and you're going to get the benefits of looting 3 without actually having to enchant those tridents with looting 3. So let's go ahead and turn this on. That's going to start pushing the tridents around, and we're also going to start seeing zombie piglins spawn. And yeah, as you can see, they're getting destroyed by the grinder. So this is going to go quite fast as the farm picks up in pace, as you can see already. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to AFK for 30 minutes, and we're going to see how many drops I get and how many levels I get. Yeah, this is definitely picking up speed. Alright, that was a lot of XP and a lot of drops. I think that makes it to be just under 1,000 gold ingots per hour, which is absolutely crazy. This is the easiest XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you over 50 levels in 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing we're going to do is dig out a 3x3 by 3 block deep hole, or a 3x3 cube. After digging out your cube, we're going to place down a sand block in the center of the hole with a cactus on top and a composter on top of that cactus. Grab your water bucket and place it in any corner in whatever direction the water is flowing in. We're going to dig down 3 blocks, 1 block across, like this. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to dig out a 3-block strip, which is 2 blocks deep. Go ahead and remove these 2 blocks as well, and we're going to place down an observer facing in this direction and an observer facing in this direction. But first, we're going to remove this block right here, place down your observer, so this is what it should look like. From this area right here, you should see the red dot, and it should be bouncing back and forth. Next, we're going to place down a lightning rod in this hole and remove this block right here so that the water flows over to the lightning rod. Next, we're going to grab our sticky piston and we're going to break this block right here and place our sticky piston upside down so that it is pointing down into the observer, and then grab whatever block you would like and just pillar up, and then just go ahead and fill in all of these blocks right here. Again, you can use whatever you want. I'm using grass blocks so it looks natural. Next, we're going to place down a lever on top of this piston so that, well, first let's place down our trapdoor here so we can see it. So we're going to place it on this side, which is going to go up and down, and it is going to open away from the farm. Once you've placed down your trapdoor, go ahead and flick this lever and it should stop clicking, and this is where our trident killer is going to be. Next, we're going to grab our leaves, and we're going to create a rim of leaves. You can use whatever block you would like, but I like having this look kind of like a miniature iron farm, so I tend to use leaves, and I think it looks pretty good. We're then going to come over here and dig down 2 blocks. Well, not inside the hole, dig down 2 blocks, and this is going to be where our zombie is. So let's place down another trapdoor right here and open it up, and then place down a temporary little enclosure so that we can punch our zombie into this hole. And we can't forget that we need to have our block so that the zombie doesn't die in the sunlight. So this is going to prevent him from burning up in the daytime. And once it's nighttime and you have a zombie nearby, make sure to have a named name tag so that he doesn't despawn. And we're just going to get him inside of this hole. So lure him over and then punch him in. Get in there. Get in there. Get into your new home. Go. Get in. Go. 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 Don't die. There we go. And then simply name him. Close the trap door, and we can remove all of this scaffolding. And the next thing we need to do is create a little temporary bridge so that we can get our armadillos into that composter. So let's just go ahead and build up some scaffolding like so. And then we're going to build a little platform which you're going to hold your armadillos in. So this is going to be, let's make it a little bit bigger. This is going to be the room where the armadillos sit in. Again, you can use whatever block you want, dirt, it doesn't matter. This is a very temporary structure. So this is what we're going to be working with, and then let's just raise these walls to be 2 blocks tall. Now, in order to get your armadillos here, all you need is 2 armadillos, and then you can use spider eyes to breed them, and then you can have a total of 5. Now, you can have as many as you want, just keep in mind, the more armadillos you have, the more lag this farm is going to cause, and 5 is going to be plenty. This should get you well over, 60 or 70 levels in just 3 minutes. So, I'm going to be using 5, but if you're on a lower end device, maybe just use 1 or 2, and then if that works, maybe you can, make more armadillos. Okay, correction, that is going to take forever and it's very annoying, so instead just place down 3 rails right here and have a minecart, and all we're going to do is place down a minecart, put our armadillo in here, push them over to the composter, and then just click on the corner of the minecart and they will be perfectly lined up with the center of the composter. Now just do this with each of them, and then you'll have all of your armadillos inside of the area. There we go. And once you have all of your armadillos in there, we can go ahead and get rid of all of this scaffolding we just made. And unfortunately, they are doomed to an eternity of suffering. So let's just clean this place up, and then we can continue working. Alright, we are very nearly done. All we need to do now is throw our tridents onto this trapdoor, and however many armadillos you put in here, make sure you put that many amount of tridents. I've got 5 armadillos here. If I just threw 1 trident, this thing would literally take maybe 30 minutes to catch up because of how much lag it would cause. So very important, the number of armadillos you have equals the number of tridents you're going to be throwing. Now, this lightning rod is going to be the thing balancing the tridents, so we're going to aim at the center of that trapdoor right here. Just like that. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Last thing we need to do is place down our fence post right here. That way we don't accidentally fall in or pick up the tridents. If you fell in, that would be extremely bad. And now all you need is your splash potion of infestation, and we are ready to use the farm. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this block is very important, so he doesn't die. Alright, one more thing, make sure that this layer of leaves is 2 blocks tall and you have a little step up here, because if it's only 1 block tall, I had like 3 silverfish jump out, which was very annoying, and if you do end up leaving your computer running or whatever you're playing on, then that is a very easy way to die. So make sure that it's 2 blocks tall to keep all the silverfish contained, and now we are ready to use the farm with our splash potion of infestation. All we're going to do is throw it at the center where those armadillos are. The silverfish are going to come out, turn on your trident killer, and then just sit here and wait and watch the levels flow. So I'll be back in about 3.5 minutes, and we'll see how many levels I get. Alright, it looks as though the XP is starting to slow down a bit, so we are probably nearing the end. And yeah, it's just finishing off the last couple of silverfish, but look at that, 57 levels in like 2.5 minutes, which is absolutely insane. This is a game changer. The only thing I'm going to mention is make sure that when you re-enter your world, you re-throw these tridents. So you're going to have to break this block, pick up the tridents, and then we're going to have to re-throw them. Because when you load out of the game, the tridents tend to glitch through the trapdoor, and then the trident killer is broken. And if your trident killer is broken and you throw the potion, you are going to have thousands of silverfish, which are basically unable to be killed because the game will be so laggy. So it's Very, very important that you rethrow those tridents if you leave the game and reopen the game every time you use this farm. This is the easiest Guardian XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock and will get you over 30 levels in under 5 minutes, making it the perfect farm for getting XP and mending your gear. Not only that, but this farm will produce tons of fish, prismarine crystals, and prismarine shards. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. The first thing you need to do is find an ocean monument and kill the Elder Guardians to avoid mining fatigue. Maybe wear some armor. And after that, we want to grab an empty locator map, go ahead and open it up, and go to the top left corner or the northwest corner of your ocean monument, which is over in this corner right here. Next, we're going to come down into the ocean monument, and we're going to count over 3 blocks diagonally, so 1, 2, 3. On this third block here, we're going to dig all the way down to the stone, and we're going to build a pillar all the way up to the surface of the water, and then place down a slab on top of that. What this post is doing is it's preventing guardians from spawning in this location in the ocean monument. So we need to mark out all of the spawn locations of, that's a lot of guardians. We need to mark out all of the spawn locations of the guardians to prevent them from spawning anywhere but our chamber that we're going to be building. So we are going to mark all of the locations now. From this post, we're going to build out 10 blocks in any direction. You can go this way or this way, as long as you're over the ocean monument. And we're going to count out 10 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Place down our building blocks and a slab. Then 15 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then our building blocks and a slab. And then 15 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then our building blocks, and then a slab. And then we're going to do 9 more temporary blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then our building blocks and a slab. And if everything is lined up correctly, then this last set of building blocks should be on the third block of the diagonal, just like the northwest corner was. So now we're going to come all the way back over here, and we're going to make this exact same pattern again. So from here, 10 blocks, so on and so forth. And after building in both directions here, we have a nice little guide. All we have to do now is mark out all 25 spawn locations, and it's a lot easier once you have both directions filled in, because now all we're doing is matching it up. So this is going to be a post, and then our slab, and then continue it. And I think you get the point. We got to do this 25 times. And after marking each of the spawn locations, as you can see, there are still plenty of guardians spawning, and that's because we actually haven't prevented them from spawning. We need to bring each of the posts that we've marked out all the way down to the ocean floor, like we did with that post right here. So we're going to come over to this post, and we're going to do this to each of them, and we're just going to build all the way down to the ocean floor, removing any of the prismatic blocks that are in the way, and making sure that you go all the way down to the ocean floor. If you only go down to, the surface or like the roof of the Guardian ocean monument thing, they can still spawn inside the monument, which is no good. So again, bring it all the way down to the ocean floor. That is incredibly important. And after bringing each of your pillars down to the ocean floor, we want to remove our temporary blocks. After removing your temporary blocks, this is what it should look like. And as you can see, I flew away and left the area, and now there are no guardians spawned inside of the ocean monument, and that's because we've properly marked all of the spawn locations. So that is good. Next, we want to return to the northwest pillar, and we're going to go to this pillar right here and come down 3 blocks. On this third block here, we're going to place down a building block and connect this with a beam to this second pillar right here. From here, we're going to count in 5 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place down a strip of blocks going in between these 2 pillars. Get out of here. And we're going to connect them up with another beam, creating this shape right here. Next, we're going to grab our glass, and we're going to wrap this entire shape in a 2-high glass wall, going around the entire thing. Place down our blocks on this side, and then continue it across, just following the outline of the eye shape that we've just made. After placing down your glass, we're going to grab the sponges, which you should have from killing the Elder Guardian, and we're going to place down a sponge in the center, a sponge in this corner, and a sponge in this corner, and all of the water should be removed from our chamber here. Next, you want to grab your signs and go to the intersection of the farm here and place down your signs on both of these glass blocks, and replace the building blocks underneath of those signs with ice blocks. This is going to allow guardians to freely flow through here. If this is a regular block, you're going to need another guardian to push the guardian into the next water stream, so these ice blocks are highly recommended. We're going to do the same thing on the other side of the farm now. Your signs, remove these building blocks, whoops, don't break the glass, and place down your ice blocks underneath of those signs. Next, we're going to find the center of the farm, and unfortunately, this farm is centered on 2 blocks, so it isn't going to be symmetrical, but it is what it is. So we're going to count in 4 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, we're going to remove this block right here, skip a block, and remove that block right here. It doesn't matter which direction you go, I've decided to go this way, and you should have 5 blocks from this glass wall in building blocks here, and on this side, you should have 4 blocks from the glass wall. We're then going to place down our ice blocks on both of those blocks right there, place down trapdoors over top of both of those ice blocks, and this is going to allow the items to freely pass into our eventual bubble column. Next, we're going to grab our building blocks, and on the less shallow side of the farm, so as you can see, this side has 5 blocks of glass, this side has 4 blocks of glass. We're going to build a strip of blocks going across here, and then another strip of blocks for a total of 2 blocks in depth. We're going to grab our pistons now, and we're going to replace this block of glass and this block of glass, then remove this building block and replace it with a piston, remove that building block and replace it with a piston, so those pistons should be next to those trapdoors like you see here. We're going to grab our glass now and place a glass block over top of that air block so that there's a hole next to the piston. So there shouldn't be a glass here, it should be air and then a glass over top of that air. Next, we want to go to each of the pillars inside of the farm and remove the 2 top blocks so that there is air just below the slab, and place down a water bucket just below the slab. We're going to do this on all 4 sides of the farm, just like so. And this is going to be the spawn locations for the guardians. So these 4 locations are going to spawn guardians, and they're going to get pushed through our farm. We're going to place down a water bucket here in between those 2 ice blocks, and a water bucket here between those 2 ice blocks, and it should bring everything down to these trapdoors with the air block, and again, that's going to eventually be a bubble column, which is going to carry the XP and items up to your AFK platform. The next thing we need to do is grab our glass, and we're going to place down a glass block just beside the slab. Do not do this, do not block off your water stream, because then of course they're not going to spawn. So place down your glass beside the slab, and we're going to block the entire farm in so that none of the guardians can fall out of the farm, because that would negatively affect the rates. So just make sure that all of the blocks are full, except for the water blocks, and you'd be able to tell because the water streams would be gone. So this is what it should look like. After building the roof to the farm, we are ready to build our bubble elevator, and this farm is going to be on Y level 63 because, again, it is built on the ocean level, so it should be on Y level 63, which means we are going to build up to Y level 89 because this bubble elevator needs to be 26 blocks tall. And after building up 26 blocks, you should have quite a few guardians down there, which I clearly do. We're going to go to the side that has the pistons, and we're going to build out 3 blocks. So 1, 2, 3. Same thing over here. Don't fall in your chamber. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then we want to build out 6 more blocks. And again, that's on the side with the pistons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to make a giant platform, which is going to be a 9x7 platform. After building your 9x7 platform, we're going to come down to this bottom left corner, and we're going to build over from this second block here and remove this 3rd block. We're then going to drop down all the way to the ocean level here, and we're going to build out from this piston 2 blocks, so 1, 2, or if you did it the other way, just, I don't know, make sure it's lined up with that hole. We're then going to bring scaffolding all the way to that hole here so we can get up to our AFK platform. It's going to make it a lot easier to build the redstone as well, so this scaffolding is pretty important. Next, we want to grab our chests, and we're going to place down a double chest next to that scaffolding, and we're going to do that 3 more times. So we're going to have 4 double chests like this, and it should be lined up with our water chamber. We're then going to place down a second layer of chests here, so that way we have a little extra storage. We're going to grab our hoppers, come around back now, and place down our hoppers running into those chests, just like so. Grab our glass now and place down glass going over top of those chests, and place down hoppers running into those glass. And then we're going to grab our glass again now, and we're going to create a little rim going around all of the hoppers like this. We can actually leave that back section open for right now. And we're going to bring our water chamber up to the same exact level, just like so. Next, we're going to grab our building blocks now, and we're going to place down building blocks on this second layer of hoppers, and then place down a row of blocks going across here. And we may have to get a little, yeah, we're going to remove these blocks and place down some redstone torches going across here. We're actually only going to do this 3 times, so 3 redstone torches. Place down those blocks again, place down blocks right here. Grab your comparators now, and we're going to place down 3 comparators coming out the backside of those hoppers. And then we're going to place down redstone repeaters on this set of blocks. Place down blocks going across here over top of those repeaters, along with blocks behind the repeaters. Grab our redstone dust and place down 9 redstone dust just going across the tops of all of those blocks. And this is going to be our item filter so we can sort out all of the drops, with this last set of chests just being the overflow in case one item seems to magically, fill before all the rest. Or maybe there's the off chance that you can get ink. I'm not actually exactly sure. I'm sure you could get ink. Next, we need to fill these item filters, which is actually incredibly simple. We're just going to go to this first hopper, and this one we'll say is our cod. So we need an item filter. In this case, I'm going to use gold blocks. It's a little bougie, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could use dirt if you want. Then we're going to grab our cod, put the cod in here. It's going to sort out. Go to the next hopper, place down our gold blocks. This one can be crystals, and then the next one is going to be shards. So place down your filler block, and then place down your shards. And if we come down here, you're going to see that the prismarine shards are going to flow in, and then the crystals, and then the cod. So let's actually just grab that out of the chest, so we can go ahead and label these. So you don't have to do this step, but I would recommend placing down item frames, and then this one was cod, this one was crystals, this one was shards, right? Yes, okay. So yeah, now they're labeled. So these item filters, all of the drops are going to go across these 4 hoppers, and they're going to get sorted, so all of the items are going to end up in their, assigned chest. Next, we want to grab our glass, and we're going to place down 4 glass blocks going across here, so that way this water chamber isn't going to overflow and break all of our redstone. Next, we're going to grab our water bucket now and place down our water bucket right here so that it flows across the hoppers, and so that it flows down this chamber. Now what we need to do is we need to make this a bubble column, and right now it's just flowing water. So we're going to come all the way down to the bottom of the farm, and we're going to replace this building block with dirt temporarily. Grab your kelp now, and we're going to place down kelp, turning all of these building blocks, all of these flowing blocks of water into water source blocks. And then once we get to the top, all we have to do is grab our soul sand, catch your breath, come all the way back down now, and we are going to replace this dirt block with soul sand. So break your kelp, break the dirt, place down soul sand, and woo, we get to get shot up. Yay, so fun. All right, next we're gonna grab our glass now, and we're gonna build a little enclosure just like this, and then a glass block right here. What this is gonna do is it's going to allow the items to bounce and then get carried across the hoppers. If you don't have this, your items just might shoot everywhere and not end up in the hoppers. So make sure you have this little contraption at the end here. And yeah, now we need to connect up a lever and our redstone with the trident killer. At the bottom of the farm, next to your scaffolding, we're gonna place down 2 building blocks, leaving a 1 block gap between the scaffolding pillar and, the 2 blocks we've just placed down. Then we're gonna place down a comparator, and we're gonna place down a building block right here. Grab your redstone dust and connect it all up. Place it over top of those pistons, just like so. And then if we go ahead and take a lever and turn this on, you're gonna see that the pistons shoot out. If we put this in subtract mode, it starts a little piston clock, which is going to be how we power our trident killers. Now, of course, we don't want to power it from down here. We want to power it from up there at our AFK platform. So all we're going to do now is connect this up to there, which isn't actually that hard. And while this next bit isn't necessarily complicated, it may take you a while just because it's a little awkward to build this way, but it is probably the easiest way to do it. So we're going to build 1 block out from this lever. Go ahead and remove your lever now. Place down your glass block, and then grab your redstone dust, and place your redstone dust going on top of this glass block. Place down your glass block on top of that redstone dust, place down your redstone dust, place down your glass block, place down your redstone dust, glass block, and we're going to do this all the way up to our AFK platform. And once you've built up with your little redstone staircase, this is what it should look like, and we want to bring it right all the way up so that this redstone dust is right below the AFK platform. Now this is actually incredibly awesome because what this means is all we have to do is place down our lever right here, and that is going to connect up to this redstone dust. So if we go ahead and turn it on, you'll see it is connected up, but unfortunately it's not actually reaching our trident killer, because this is quite a ways to bring redstone all the way down. So we're going to grab our building blocks now, and we're going to count up 12 blocks. So 12 redstone dust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. On this 12th redstone, we're going to go ahead and break it. Place down a temporary block right here, and then a building block. Break this block right here, and then we are going to take our redstone repeater, place it right there, break this redstone dust, place down a regular block just like so, and place down a redstone dust right here. And as you can see, it is now reaching our redstone trident killer down there. And if we come all the way up here and we go ahead and turn off the farm, the trident killers are going to stop. We are incredibly close to getting this farm working. The only thing we have left to do is to go ahead and throw our tridents. So remove those glass blocks over top of the pistons here. And we're going to throw our tridents at the glass block that is across from the piston, kind of towards the guardians. So you can throw up to 5 tridents. However, I'd say like 1 or 2 is honestly enough, just like this. Then go ahead and grab your glass and replace the glass block that we just broke on both of these blocks, just like this. And now all you have to do is climb up here, slow climb with the scaffolding. Oh, actually, since we were down there, we should probably place down torches. Torch right here and right here. And up top, place down a torch here, and we might as well place one right here. We don't want any mobs spawning. But finally, we can go ahead and turn on the farm here, and as you can see, it is immediately going to start the trident killer. You can already see guardians dying. The XP is being carried up along with all of the drops. The drops are being put through the item filter, so if we go ahead and take a look, you'll see prismatic shards, prismarine crystals, and the cod. Nice, and exactly what we were looking for. Perfect. The only thing I would say is we should go ahead and just box ourselves in right here. And I like this because it, like, low-key kind of fits. Like, this AFK area just makes sense. And then throw down a door in front of here. And now, you can't die to phantoms. And all you have to do is stand inside of this chamber, right on top of the lever, and all of the XP is going to be carried over to you. So I'm going to go ahead and AFK for 10 minutes, but dude, this thing is awesome. I love it. It's so cool. And it's so much XP. We got all the way up to level 30 in 4.5 minutes. That was absolutely insane. If we go ahead and take a look at the drops too, we've got plenty of rock cod, plenty of prismarine crystals, plenty of prismatic shards. I mean, dude, you AFK here for an hour, you'd probably have like a couple hundred levels and full chests worth of items. This is a crazy farm. Look at it. This is the easiest rate XP farm for Minecraft Bedrock and will allow you to obtain totems, emeralds, and many more drops, plus XP. Taking less than an hour to build, this farm is perfect for early to mid game. Materials are on screen, so pause and let's build. First things first, find a nice semi-flat area. Don't be building this next to a mountain, but if you want to build it next to some rolling hills, that's fine. And make sure to build it at least 150 blocks away from all other villages and villagers. The first thing we're going to do is grab our scaffolding and build 100 blocks up using our scaffolding. And after building up 100 blocks with your scaffolding, you want to build a 9x8 platform out of leaves, with the scaffolding being 2 blocks from the bottom and 3 blocks from the left in that platform. Next, we want to go to the back of our platform here and place down 6 building blocks going across, with 1 block on both sides of that line. We're then going to place down 3 building blocks going across here and 3 building blocks going across here. Go ahead and place down a double chest in the center of that space. And then we're going to grab our hoppers and we're going to run our hoppers into one another so that they all lead into that chest right there. Then we're going to grab our building blocks again and we're going to create another layer of blocks going across the blocks we've already placed down. And on this strip above the double chest, we're going to grab our slabs now, and we're going to create a rim of slabs on the top half of those blocks so that there is a half block gap in between the hoppers and where you're going to stand. We're then going to grab our carpet and place down 8 carpet over top of the hoppers. That way, none of the XP gets stuck in the hoppers. Next, we're going to grab our building blocks and we're going to build up 5 blocks on each one of these blocks to create a giant rectangle. So this structure is going to be 7 blocks tall in total, but from the inside where the carpet is, it's only going to be 6 blocks tall. And to prevent any bad guys from To prevent any of the members of a raid from spawning up here, we need to place down a rim of leaves. This is incredibly important. If you don't place these down, then enemies will be able to spawn on top of these blocks, and they will end up, just kind of jumping off and killing you. So, very important. And after building your rim of leaves, we are almost done. The only thing we have left to do is to get the villager in here. So what you want to do is crouch. Make sure you're crouching. Please do not fall off of this structure. Please crouch. We're going to look over the edge and place down a block right here and jump down, which is 3 blocks from the leaf layer. So the leaf, block, and then your little platform. We're going to build out by 3 blocks, place down 2 more blocks right here. You can either place down the bed on this block or on this block. It doesn't really matter, but I like to have the 2x2 centered on the farm. So I'm going to choose this block right here just because it's a lot easier to remove the blocks. And we're going to remove our entire 2x2 platform so that the bed is floating. We're going to grab our leaves now and place down our 2x2 again, this time using leaves. And on this block right here, we're going to place down our workstation. I'm using a fletching table, but you can use whatever workstation you would like. And then go ahead and place down a torch right here. We're then going to create a little leaf barricade for our villager friend, just like so, and make it 2 blocks tall, just like this. And, maybe get out of the leaf thing and then place down the final one. Go ahead and find a villager with a profession, throw down a boat just beside them, push them in, and simply throw them on a lead. Say goodbye. You're going to your new home. It's better. It's like minimalism, but like, kind of. My guy is low-key flying right now. After returning to your farm with your villager, we're gonna grab our building blocks and we're gonna look straight up and we're gonna aim for this little gap right here. So your workstation, and then just try and aim for like right about here so that your crosshair isn't blocked by the structure. If it is, it's not the end of the world, but ideally it's not. We're just gonna start building up. Thank you, Mojang, for allowing us to this is so easy to transport villagers. Wow, I literally, oh, okay. You don't want them to get stuck. I was gonna say I like perfectly did this. So you wanna be like kind of in this area. So as you can see, it's not the end of the world. Get unstuck, get unstuck. There you go. And then once we're up here, all we have to do is build a little bit more. Let us bridge over now and bring him up here. Build up a little more so that he can get up top, and then just drop down and lead him into his new home. This is very precarious. And then we're just going to, you can't push boats. Oh, you can push a boat. Okay, boom. Enjoy your new home. Grab your leaves and place down a 2x2 of leaves over top, and then just clean up all of these blocks. Oh, actually, I said that like it was a joke, but no, you really do need to clean up those blocks or you're gonna have mobs spawning. So we actually also have to get rid of our pillar here. Make sure that is all cleaned up. And there are just a few more finishing touches to the farm. First, 2 torches. Next, a rim of leaves. And finally, if you want more storage, we can just place down double chests wherever you would like. The only thing you need to make sure of is that you're placing down leaf blocks over top of the top chest. So this is a perfect system. And finally, 2 grindstones, because, symmetry. In order to get the best rates with this farm, make sure you're using a looting 3 sword. However, if you're playing in the early game, it's understandable if you don't have this already. And if you are using looting 3 sword, I'd recommend putting mending on it. And finally, to use the farm, simply drink an ominous bottle. You're gonna get the raid effect, and we're gonna wait for the raid to begin, which is going to take about 25 seconds. I don't actually know how, I think 27 seconds. So we're gonna wait. And once the raid effect wears off, we are going to begin the raid. Simply crouch, go underneath of these slabs, and because of the new crouch mechanic where you actually can stay crouched and crouch under half slabs, you will actually stay crouched without holding the shift key or crouching. So that is absolutely awesome. And then every wave that comes in, you get to kill them nice and easy. Everything is going to spawn inside of this chamber here. So we can just go ahead and kill these guys. And then the next raid is going to start. All of the XP will be returned to me. So I am going to finish this wave. And as you can see, we just had a victory on the raid. We now have the hero of the village effect. And if we go ahead and take a look inside of our chest, this is what we got from a single raid. That is plenty of stuff. I've had up to 5 totems of Undying in a single raid, So this is a great farm. This is the easiest sugarcane farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and it's going to generate over 15,000 sugarcane per hour. So settle in and let's build. Alright, the first thing you want to do is dig out a 3-block strip and place down a block in the center here. Then we're going to place down a redstone torch, place down a redstone dust in this hole, and then we're going to place down blocks on top of the redstone dust and the redstone torch. Run a redstone repeater into this block so that it creates a clock like this. If you place it the other way around, nothing's going to happen. So make sure that you have a clock going. And then we're going to set this repeater to 3 ticks right here and place down a lever on the front so we can turn on and off this clock. So we're going to turn it off for right now, and off means on, which is a little backwards, but this is how we're going to stop the clock. And after building our redstone clock, we're going to come to this block right here, and we're going to remove these 3 blocks. We're going to remove these 2 blocks now, so we have a nice 2x2 and then a 1 block removed here. We're going to place down our stair going this way, so that way you are blocking that redstone dust. That's incredibly important. Face it this way so it's not affecting that redstone dust. Once you have that, we're going to go ahead and place down a chest right here. Now, if you just want to have 1 chest, you could do it like that. I would recommend placing down a double chest, though. That way you can, collect all of the sugarcane that we're going to be making. So having this chest here as a double chest is probably recommended. We're then going to grab our hopper, and we're going to run the hopper into the back of this chest. So all of the sugarcane is going to get picked up and put into this collection chest here. We're going to grab our stair now and place it upside down, so that way we can still open up our chest. And then we're going to place down our mud block right on top of that hopper. Go ahead and waterlog this stair now, and grab yourself a dispenser and place it over top of this stair, facing towards the lever and the front of the farm. Next, grab your sugarcane and place down the sugarcane on that mud block. We're then going to grab our hopper and run the hopper into that dispenser, and then place down a chest on top of the hopper right here. We're going to grab our piston now and place the piston on top of the dispenser, and then place down a redstone torch on top of this block. And when the farm is off, you should see that this redstone torch is off. And if we go ahead and turn it on, you're going to see that this piston is going to be firing, and this dispenser is going to be shooting out bone meal. However, we haven't loaded the system yet. So let's go ahead and turn this off for now. We're then going to go ahead and grab our building blocks, and we're going to place down a wall going across here, just like so. And then over top of the chest here, we're going to grab a stair, place an upside down stair, so that way we can still open up the chest. We're going to go ahead and replace these 3 blocks with, oh, that's a stair, with regular building blocks here, so that way everything looks nice and uniform. Again, don't have to do it, purely aesthetics, but it looks a lot nicer. And then we're going to fill in this wall with glass, which again, it doesn't need to be glass. This could be any block as long as it is a full block, so you can't use fences or glass panes. It's very important that this is a full block. Once you've made sure of that and we are done with... Sorry, not really sure what happened. My brain just started spamming the autofill button, and then I kind of just got confused. So the last thing we have to do is place down a ceiling of slabs here, just like so. Again, could be regular blocks. However, I think the slabs look nicer. It makes the farm look a little bit smaller. But like if you're trying to tuck this away inside of a build, you don't really need this. The roof of your build could be the ceiling of the farm. Just make sure that the farm is covered like it is here. And finally, throw in your bone meal here. 1 bone meal is going to be turned into 2 sugarcane, so it is a direct conversion. So if you have a skeleton grinder or a mob grinder or anything like that, this is an amazing farm. And all we have to do now is go ahead and turn it on. The clock is going to start, and I have tile drops off. And now that I have tile drops enabled, let's go ahead and turn the farm back on. And as you can see, it is now dropping sugarcane. Now, there is a visual glitch. If we come behind here, it looks like the sugarcane is being thrown underground. That is entirely a visual glitch. All of the sugarcane is going inside of this chest right here. And again, this is perfectly timed to the hopper speed, so we aren't going to be having any of the sugarcane be decayed on the floor of this block, the mud. We aren't going to be losing any sugarcane. This is built for the max speed of a hopper, so there is no wasted bone meal here. This is a lot of sugarcane. This is the easiest AFK Fish Farm for Minecraft Bedrock, allowing you to get XP, food, treasure loot like mending books, and more. Materials are on screen, so pause the video and let's build. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is dig out a 4-block long strip, then grab your chest and place down a double chest on this end. Grab your hopper now and run the hopper into that chest. We're then going to grab our building blocks and come 1 block over here, and same on this side, 1 block over here, so that these 2 blocks are spaced 3 blocks apart, centered on this hole. Next, we're going to place down a block on top of that block, and a block on top of that block. We're going to grab our tripwire hooks now, and place down 2 tripwire hooks opposite each other. Go ahead and place down a string, remove these 2 bottom blocks, place down a block diagonal from here. It doesn't matter which side you put this on. I'm going to do it on the left side. We're then going to go ahead and place down a trapdoor right here, an iron trapdoor specifically. Next, we're going to come back here, and whatever side you place this block on, we're going to place down a redstone torch and then a redstone dust. That's going to open up this trapdoor. And the last thing we have to do is go ahead and waterlog that trapdoor so we actually have something to fish in. So now when we walk into the tripwire, it is going to close that trapdoor, which is going to be how we power this fish farm. And using this farm is actually incredibly simple. You just need an auto clicker, set it to 1200 milliseconds or 1.2 seconds. We're then going to set the mouse button to right click and then your hotkey to whatever you would like. Mine is set to F6. And then to use the farm, all we're going to do is stand as close as we can to the water without actually being inside it. And also we need to look at the very edge of this block right here. So this is a perfect location. Go ahead and take your hand off of the mouse, and we're just going to go ahead and start the auto clicker. And make sure that the bobber doesn't fall unless it's catching a fish, so I am close enough to where the bobber isn't going to fall. But if I was stepped a little bit farther back, then of course the bobber would just come out of the water, and that's no good. So you really do have to find that sweet spot, but once you find it, it is just going to sit here, and you can leave your PC running, and you're going to continue to catch fish, get XP, treasure loot, mending books, all of that fun stuff. And there we go, we just got our first bit of XP, and as you can see, it goes right back to auto fishing. And if we go ahead and turn the auto clicker off now, oh, perfect, we caught another fish. You will see that we got a raw cod and a raw cod. Now, this one ended up in my inventory because there's space in my inventory and I'm close enough to have picked it up instead of the hopper. So if you don't want to pick up items, then just fill your inventory with a random block and then it'll all go in the chest. Or let your inventory fill up and then the chest will start collecting as well. And obviously that took a little while, and that's because this is just a plain old fishing rod, but you want an enchanted fishing rod with mending, unbreaking 3, lure 3, and luck of the sea 3. Now don't worry about enchanting them, because this farm, if you use it long enough, is absolutely going to give you a good enough fishing rod just by, fishing. So don't waste your levels on enchanting a fishing rod, just wait until you catch a good rod, and then you can replace out the, old non-enchanted one. This farm also works best when exposed to daylight, as in having access to the sky, and it will work even better if it's raining. This is the easiest super smelter for Minecraft Bedrock, allowing you to smelt items up to 8 times faster. Materials are on screen, so pause the video and let's build. The first thing you want to do is find an area to build a super smelter, and it is going to be 13 blocks long by 2 blocks deep by 5 blocks tall. So once you have an area to build it, we're going to come all the way to the left and we're going to build up 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. And then grab your double chest, place down a double chest right here. And this is going to be the output chest. So all of these smelted items are going to end up inside of this chest. Next, we're going to grab our stairs now and place 2 upside down stairs above this chest so that you can still open it. And now this next block is optional, however I highly recommend using a redstone lamp here, but you could easily just use a regular building block and it would be fine, but by using a redstone lamp you'll be able to see it be on, off, and it just kind of looks cool, so I would recommend using it. Next we're going to place down a building block next to that redstone lamp. Go ahead and place down a powered rail on top of that redstone lamp. Next, you want to grab your hoppers, and we're going to run 8 hoppers into this chest right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they should all be running into one another like this. Make sure they're not pointed down at the ground. Once you've made sure of that, we're going to grab our furnaces now, crouch, and we're going to place down 8 furnaces on top of these hoppers, just like this. And then we're going to come around back with our hoppers again, crouch, and place 8 hoppers running into the backs of each of those furnaces. And then we're going to grab our hoppers once again and run those hoppers into the top of those furnaces. Now you could use smokers or blast furnaces instead of regular furnaces, however then you would only be able to smelt the items that go into those corresponding furnaces, so I would recommend just using regular furnaces, that way you don't ever have like clogged hoppers because you put the wrong thing in. I would recommend using these, but you could use, the other furnaces I just mentioned. Next, we're going to come around back here, and we're going to place down 2 blocks behind those stairs right here, place down a block right here, come to the other side now, and place down 3 blocks, just like this, 2 blocks like this, temporary block here, temporary block here, block here, block here. Go ahead and remove those 2 temporary blocks, so this is what it should look like. We're going to come around down here now and place down our 2 redstone torches like this, which are powering these blocks, which are going to power the powered rails. Next, we're going to grab our rails and we're going to connect up this strip right here, leading all the way to this powered rail right here. And as you can see, when we flick on this lever, it's going to power this powered rail, which is going to make our minecart chest bounce back and forth. But hopefully now you can see that the redstone lamp isn't necessary. It just tells you whether the super smelter is on or off. Next, we're going to grab another powered rail and place it down right here. If this happens where the rails are connecting, then that is a super easy fix. All we have to do is go ahead and remove this block right here and remove this redstone torch. Go ahead and place down a block right here with a powered rail and then a powered rail. Go ahead and remove that powered rail. Okay, I just gave myself a headache, but this is really simple. Once you're in this position right here, you've got your powered rail here, you've removed that powered rail, we're going to place down a powered rail right here, and then crouch and place down a rail. It's going to connect to this rail, so we're going to remove that rail, and place down a regular rail. Regular rail, powered rail, boom, we have 2 separate rails. Okay, we can then go ahead and get rid of that powered rail, replace that block right here with the redstone torch, so that way this powered rail is powered. And now we're going to come across here, and we're going to have to do the same thing we just did with all of the headache and confusion. Remove that block, place down a block right here, powered rail right here, powered rail right here. It's going to connect up here. Remove that powered rail, remove that powered rail, place down your powered rail right here, and then your powered rail right here. I always hate rails. Rails are so difficult to work with, but once you have your 2 separate rails, it should look like this. And now this is going to be the switch, which powers these 2 powered rails, which is going to push our minecarts. Go ahead and turn that off now. Place down your minecart chest right here. We're going to crouch and place a hopper over top of this powered rail right here. Grab your chest now, place down a double chest right here, and then place down a minecart chest, just like that. So now when we go ahead and turn it on, these minecart chests are going to get pushed across, and then come back, and then get pushed across. Then we can go ahead and turn it off, and they're going to recollect over here. Now I'm going to go ahead and label these chests and show you how to use the super smelter. And using this thing is incredibly simple. As you can see, I've labeled the chests, and if you want to do that, I would highly recommend it. It looks pretty aesthetic, and it's also going to make it so that if you're playing with friends, they know where to put things. So we're going to go to this top chest here, and this is going to be where we put our fuel. So the coal is in this large chest, and then it's being dropped down into this back minecart with chest. That minecart with chest. I thought it was a minecart chest. Okay, anyways, the fuel is going to end up in there. This is going to be where we put our smeltables, in this case raw iron, and then once this chest is empty, we can go ahead and send it on its way. I mean, you don't have to wait for it to be empty, but I would recommend it. So now all of our coal is in here, all of our raw iron is in here, and all of the smelted iron is going to end up in here. So just go ahead and turn it on and watch. That is so incredibly satisfying. So each one of these chests is getting an equal amount of both fuel and iron. As you can see, it is going to distribute everything, and then all of the smelted iron is going to end up in here, and it's going to be a nice steady stream. So we just got our first round of 8, and now we're going to get our next round of 8, which will bring us to 16. There will be a slight pause, but as you can see, it is working incredibly fast, and you can load this thing up with like a full chest worth of smeltables. So it's really convenient. This is the easiest AFK chicken farm for Minecraft Bedrock, and will get you chicken and feathers while being completely AFK. Materials are on screen, so pause the video and let's build. Alright, the first thing you want to do is set down a chest, then grab a hopper and run the hopper into the back of that chest. We're then going to go ahead and place down a block right here with a dispenser on top. Very important that this is a dispenser and not a dropper. Once you've placed that, we're going to place down a slab in front of that dispenser like this. Come around back now, and we're going to run a redstone repeater into this block right here. Place down a block behind that redstone repeater. We're then going to remove this block and this block. Go ahead and place down a redstone dust underneath of this block right here. Go ahead and remove these two blocks and place down a redstone torch. This is going to create a redstone clock like you see here. We're going to grab a lever and place the lever on the back of this block so we can turn it on and off. If you would like to place this over here, you could as well. This is also a perfectly valid place to turn the farm on and off. I'm going to place it back here though, that way everything is nice and symmetrical. Go ahead and place back those blocks so everything is nice and flat. And this is basically how we're going to be shooting out the chicken eggs. Next, you want to grab a hopper and run the hopper into the back of that dispenser. We're then going to grab our building blocks and place 2 blocks right here and 3 blocks right here. Go ahead and place down a ladder on either this side or this side of these 2 blocks. We're then going to grab our glass and place 2 glass blocks right here. Grab our trapdoors now and place down a trapdoor on this side of the slab and this side. Go ahead and place down a block above that slab, so you should have that half slab, and then a block right here. Go ahead and open up these trapdoors. Trapdoors again, and place down 2 trapdoors right here. Go ahead and open those up. Make things nice and symmetrical. Throw down a trapdoor there. Gonna do the same thing over here now. Temporary block right here. Trapdoor, trapdoor. Over here, trapdoor, trapdoor. Go ahead and open up all of those doors and remove that temporary block. And finally, we're going to place down another temporary block right here, and then a trapdoor. Go ahead and remove that block now. And this is going to be how you can access your adult chickens. If you fall in, there's a ladder there, but the adult chickens won't be able to climb up it, allowing you to, accidentally fall in here and not have all of your chickens explode. And using this farm is incredibly simple. Make sure that the clock is off. If it is on like this, then all of your adult chickens, all the eggs are going to go into the dispenser, and then they're going to get shot out, and all the baby chickens are going to spawn inside of here. Now that's what we want eventually, but for right now, we want to fill this area with chickens, which includes baby chickens. So make sure that your clock is off, so all of the eggs are going to be collected in this dispenser, and then we're going to bring them back and put them back up here. Also, if you'd like, you can come around back and place down 3 ladders just so you have a nice way up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open this trapdoor here. We're going to go ahead and just throw a bunch of eggs until we have a bunch of baby chickens. Now, you can just wait for these guys to grow, or you could... Oh, come get in there. Oh. They escaped. You can speed up the growth of these baby chickens by feeding them seeds, and they'll turn into adult chickens quicker. However, I would keep your seeds so that you can breed the adult chickens, because then they're going to breed and have baby chickens. So I would keep your seeds to breed chickens and not raise them from babies, and instead just recycle the eggs and put them back inside of here. If we got rid of that ladder, they would probably fall. And while breeding the chickens, it makes sense to remove this ladder, because if this ladder's here, then the chickens, they're probably going to have a higher likelihood of escaping. Without that ladder, the chickens are just going to fall straight down, and if you fall in, you can still place that ladder back and get out perfect. But once you're done breeding the chickens, and this is a pretty decent amount, if you're on a high-end device, you can have more chickens for better rates. If you're playing on a low-end device, I wouldn't recommend going around 20 to 50 chickens, as if you have more than that, the game is just going to be basically unplayable due to lag. But yeah, this is a good amount of chickens. Place your ladder back, go ahead and close up this trapdoor, and as you can see, since the little clock is off here, all of the eggs are being collected inside of this dispenser. If we go ahead and turn on the clock now, you're going to see that the eggs get shot out of the dispenser, and our baby chickens are going to end up in here. Now this is where the real magic happens. In previous designs, we would have a lava block here, which would automatically cook the chickens, and that is amazing. However, that design is broken because as soon as one adult chicken would grow up, it would kill off all of the baby chickens, making the rates basically astronomically low. This design, however, is going to suffocate the adult chickens one at a time. The baby chickens are going to stay untouched, so this thing is actually going to work, with the one downside of the chicken not being cooked. So I'm going to sit here in AFK for 30 minutes and we're going to see how many chicken we get. And while we wait, I'm just going to show you how to build a super simple auto smelter. So we're going to start off with a double chest and then run 2 hoppers into the back of that chest. We're then going to place down 2 furnaces, or we could do smokers since this is almost exclusively going to be used for raw chicken. So we're going to place down 2 hoppers running into the tops of those furnaces, and then 2 hoppers running into the back of the furnaces. Place down a double chest on top of both sets of those hoppers, and just like that, we now have an auto smelter. So we can go ahead and put in our coal here, and then all of our raw chicken is going to go up inside of this large chest. Alright, we are finally at the point where we are having adult chickens grow, and now it will take about 20 minutes for the farm to start producing goods, because of course, chickens take a while to grow, and in fact, these baby chickens take about 20 minutes to grow up, so now that they are growing, we're going to have a near constant stream of both raw chicken and feathers. Bro, that was insane. I would recommend waiting until you have a decent amount of cooked chicken inside of your chest before smelting it, because of course it is going to use up some fuel. But yeah, this is a really good way to get food. It's very interesting that we have 4 baby chickens. Like, they don't get shot out all the time, but just randomly, a few minutes ago, it shot out a bunch. But now they're all staying inside, so you might just have a couple chickens wandering your base. This is the ultimate creeper farm for Minecraft Bedrock, allowing you to get over 12 stacks of gunpowder an hour. Materials are on screen, so pause the video and let's build. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is find an area to build a farm, and then use either scaffolding or blocks and ladders, and build up 72 blocks. And after building 72 blocks in the air, we're going to grab our building blocks and create a rim of blocks going around this scaffolding. We're then going to extend it out 1 more on this side, and then we're going to build out 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then fill this in to create an 8x4 rectangle. Once you've built your rectangle, we're going to come to the end opposite the scaffolding and remove this 2x2 square, along with this block and this block right here. Go ahead and place down a double chest, which is going to be where all of the gunpowder ends up. We're then going to grab our hoppers, and we're going to run 4 hoppers into one another so that everything goes into this chest. Next, we're going to grab our pistons and place down a piston on top of that chest so that you can still open it. And then we're going to place down pistons in an alternating pattern going around like this. Next, we're going to grab our observers, and we're going to place down observers looking at the air blocks next to the piston. So we're going to do this in each of these empty spots, just like so. And then finally, we're going to place down redstone torches on the sides of the pistons so that the observer is looking at them. We're going to do this for all 4 pistons. And then the last thing we need to do to get this trident killer working is go ahead and place down a lever on the front of this piston right here, turn it on, and that is going to stop the trident killer. So that's how you turn off the farm. And then to turn it back on, you just unflick the lever, and then it'll be pushed around like a little blender. Next, we want to place down 2 torches on these blocks right here. That way we can AFK up here without mobs spawning. Next, we're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to place down blocks going across here, just like so. And now you could make this a full square if you want, or you could get rid of the corners. I'm going to do the full square. And next, we're going to grab our slab, place the slab over top of the piston right here, so that way we can collect the XP. And then we're going to grab our glass, and we're going to place down 5 glass blocks like this. Grab our building blocks now, and we are going to fill in the rest of this tube, and it's going to be 20 blocks tall from this hopper. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 blocks tall. And after extending the drop chute by 20 blocks, this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to build out 8 blocks in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And do this on all sides so that we have a 20 by 20 square. And after filling in the entire platform, this is what you should be left with. We're now going to come around the edge, and we are going to build a rim that is 2 blocks tall. Or actually 1 block tall, and then the second layer is going to be stairs. And this is what it should look like. So we've got 1 layer of blocks, and then 1 layer of stairs, with the exception of the corners being regular blocks. Once you have all of your stairs in place, we can go ahead and create an infinite water source just temporarily. So let's just build it somewhere like here. So place down a little square, a 2x2, and then we're going to place down our water buckets opposite each other. So then you can grab your water, waterlog a stair, grab your water, waterlog a stair, and just do this for every single one of these stairs. And after waterlogging all of your stairs, this is what it should look like. All of the water should be perfectly flowing down to the drop chute. From here, we can come over to one of the sides. We're going to place down 2 temporary blocks and then a solid block. Go ahead and remove these temporary blocks, so it should be lined up with where the water drops down. Once you have that lined up, we're going to build a giant square on the same thing, so keeping that like 2 block distance from the walls. So we're going to do this to form a square. And after building your inner square, this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to come back to our square, and we're going to count over 7, or you can line it up with the drop chute, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Place down a block here, remove these 2 blocks, place down a block here, do the same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, block, break these 2, block, and we're going to create little 7x7 platforms, so we want 4 of them. And after building your 4 squares, this is what it should look like. I'm going to show you how to do one of these platforms, but you're just going to copy this onto the other 3. So for starters, we're going to place down 9 trapdoors in the center, like 3x3, so I don't know, that's how I imagine it. It's like a 3x3 grid. And then from here, we are going to place down trapdoors on the outside of the platform on all of these edge blocks. And then after placing down all of these trapdoors, we're going to go around and close them all. And what this is going to do is it's going to trick the creeper AI into thinking there's a block here, and it's going to walk off into the drop chute. So it's going to fall into our trident killer, where we are going to get the XP along with the gunpowder. So you're just going to do this to the other 3 platforms. And after finishing all 4 of these platforms, we now have to do this 5 more times. So we're going to build up 3 blocks, 1, 2, 3, break these 2 blocks, and then we're going to create more platforms. And something that you should do between building layers is imagine that this is a fully finished layer. Currently, this is a mob farm, so zombies, skeletons, and witches will spawn here along with creepers, but if we want only creepers for maximum gunpowder, then what we can do is we can take buttons and place down buttons on the underside of the layer above this one. So this is going to make it so only creepers spawn on these platforms. And you could also get rid of the buttons that are above the trapdoor. However, I think it's honestly, it's more work to try and avoid the trapdoors. I would just fill every block with buttons. And again, we're going to do 6 layers of platforms. And after building all 6 layers, this is what it should look like. It is looking pretty beefy now. And on this last layer here, what we're going to do is we're going to, of course, build up 3 blocks, remove these bottom 2, and from here, we want to create an 8-block overhang in every direction. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing over here. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which... One sec. Okay, if I did my math correctly, it should be a 32 by 32 square in total. So we're going to cover this thing in a giant sheet, and we are also going to do the buttons over top of these final platforms. And after building your platform, you should already have some creepers spawning on your platforms. The last thing we need to do is to just go ahead and place down some torches up here. You can torch spam, you can organize them, it doesn't really matter. If you have an elytra, you should probably organize them. But I'm just going to torch spam. And one of the last things we need to do is to go ahead and place down some torches underneath of this scaffolding. Because as you can see, we have things spawning because we've created a giant a shade spot. As you can see, we already have some creepers here. So just go ahead and kill off the ones that are here. Grab your trident now and throw it at that back piston just like this. And actually, I've just realized you should be able to collect the XP, but if you're like walking up to the farm, they might blow up. So let's be better safe than sorry. Get rid of that slab and just place down some glass. Go ahead and turn on the trident killer, and those guys are going to get ground down into gunpowder, which is going to end up inside of this chest. Hold a looting 3 sword for the maximum rates. I'm going to go AFK for about an hour, and I will see you in a minute. Alright, it has been just about an hour, and as you can see, we have just under 12 stacks of gunpowder. Might as well say 12 stacks of gunpowder. in an hour. That is absolutely incredible. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like. My name is 1UpMC, and I'll catch you in the next one.